everybody. Some strangers sitting next to us. We're trying to figure out who this guy, this tanned individual is. It is 6:43. Welcome back to the program. And this is the time each and every week we teach you a little something about your car. It is time for Joe, the car guy. And filling in for Joe this week is the one and only Ron, the car guy.
The other car guy. There we go.
What's up, man?
Oh, winter. Came back to winter time.
I guess.
Big time.
How was Mexico? Hey, you heard the music intro.
Exactly, Charlie. Good choice of songs there, Charlie. It was good. It wasn't near as cold and snowy as it is here. But,
And they're still making that tequila stuff down there?
from what I recall, they are, yes.
Well, apparently,
Or maybe what I don't recall.
but things are a little different here than they were where you were.
They are, and they create some unique issues here, and that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about this morning. Is I've got like the top 4 reasons why your car doesn't like wintertime. I mean, we all know why we don't like it, but why your car doesn't like it, and the effects that it has on it. And the fact is, winter's still going to be here for a few more weeks.
Yeah.
And I was, look at the wind chills, this morning, and it really surprised me, yesterday. Well, they still got it closed. That section of the interstate going up to Clear Lake. I mean, there wasn't even really snowfall, and they've got
Not much.
blizzard conditions just
Right.
because of the wind and what was there, and of course that's all hard on cars. And so probably the biggest thing that we see this time of year with broken cars coming into the shop, the majority of them are related to fluids. And over time, fluids lose what they call their viscosity, which is their ability to flow, because the engine, the transmission, whatever component they're in, it heats up, cools down, heats up, cools down, and that's what deteriorates a fluid, and it affects their ability to flow. And so the best way that I explain it to people is picture new fluid like Aunt Jemima light syrup. It flows out really easy out of the bottle, and then old fluid that's deteriorated and stuff is like Aunt Jemima regular. Can we say Aunt Jemima on TV? Or we plug in the wrong product? Are they a
Hopefully
sponsor?
they'll send us some. That'd be great.
Yeah, there we go. We
You
get
just
some-
don't say Super Bowl.
Okay. We can't say Super Bowl. Okay, I got to remember that. Anyway, it's thick and it's hard to squeeze out of the bottle, and that's what happens to your engine oil, your power steering fluid, all the different fluids in your vehicles. And you can kind of look at it like, probably like Jason's kids. When it gets cold, you suit them up, you send them outside, and they'll play in the snow and the cold for hours because the air moves through their body better than it does an adult. The blood flows through better. They haven't clogged up arteries and stuff like that. And the same thing happens to your car. So the answer is to follow the required maintenance schedule for the vehicle and change those fluids. When it's time to change transmission fluid, or if it's starting to look discolored or break down. Change it, put new fluid in, so that stuff will flow and work when we hit these cold temperatures.
Now,
and
when you're
stuff.
talking about transmission fluid, that's something that you don't check on a regular basis.
Correct, and actually on a lot of today's cars, they took the dipstick away.
That makes it a little more difficult to check.
It does make it more difficult, and they've got different processes, plags that we have to pull out, look at the fluid level, or on some vehicles we have to buy a dipstick. There's a place for it. They just don't include it. It's not part of the vehicle. But yeah. So to check the conditions of those fluids, it's not as easy as it used to be.
Now, is that something you need to point out when you're having your oil change or something, to have the person check it or not?
I can only speak for us. Westside Auto Pros. I mean, we check it. Regardless of what the process is when we change oil, we check the condition of it. And then the other thing that we'll do is we'll look at the history on it. If a manufacturer says change your transmission fluid every 50,000 miles, well, at 50,000 miles, the fluid might not look that bad, but there's a reason they want it changed at 50,000 miles. And it isn't just to lighten your wallet. It's to protect the component and keep the fluid flowing like Aunt Jemima Light.
Mm-hmm.
So stay on top of your maintenance routine.
Absolutely. The fluids are critical, whether it's brake fluid or power steering fluid. I mean, the car just sounds better, runs better, and it'll prevent a lot of damage if the fluids are fresh.
It'll work like it's supposed to work.
Exactly.
Now, the thing you always
exactly.
hear about on really cold mornings like we have this morning is the car not wanting to turn over. Darn it.
Yeah, we see a lot of that, and we're back to the battery, and I think Joe talked about that a few weeks ago. We just get a lot of battery calls this time of year. I mean, we'll be bombarded with them this morning, and that it's frustrating to me because that's an inconvenience problem that can be prevented just by testing your battery. But when you get into the single digit temperatures, it takes nearly twice as much power from your battery to start that car as it does on, say, a 40-degree day. And now couple it with the thick fluids that you haven't changed, and the battery's working even harder.
Just compounding your problems. Yeah.
Exactly. But the test equipment and stuff that's out there today, it's a quick, easy procedure to test the state of health of a battery, and if it's starting to fail, or if your battery's somewhere around 4 years old, it doesn't have a lot of life left in it. Just prevent the headache.
Now, how many batteries do you think you'll go through today? How many batteries will you install today?
On an average day, like in the month of January or February, we'll sell between 15 and 20 batteries.
That many?
Yeah. And the majority of them, I mean, we probably sell more than a lot of shops because of the mobile service that we offer, where we come out to you. But we this time of year when we order batteries, we don't order individual batteries, we order them by the pallet.
So the truck just pulls up to your place and unloads them?
Every Tuesday morning. This morning when I get there, sometime between the time I get there and 10:30 this morning, a semi will pull up and they'll have a pallet jack and they'll start unloading pallets of batteries.
Well, it's one of those things that always doesn't work at the most inappropriate times, like when it's 12 degrees outside. But that kind of goes along with your regular maintenance, making sure you're getting things checked.
Absolutely. And it's so preventable. I mean, that's the frustrating part is all these battery issues. Just a simple test would fix that.
And speaking of preventable, something that's helping to prevent us from sliding on the roadways can also be hard on our vehicles.
There's salt. And they for a while they got away from salt and they were using other chemicals and stuff, but they're back to salt. I mean, go look at the parking lot out here, drive down the streets. I mean, they're white in color. When the snow melts off your vehicle, that white film on there, I mean, that's salt. And that rusts and corrodes. They do a good job with the cosmetic part of the vehicle. There's a lot of plastic and rubber and stuff on a vehicle, and the outside's clear coated, so we don't see cars rusting out visually. But underneath, we deal with it every day. Brake lines are rusting. We go to put shocks on a vehicle and bolts break because the rust and the corrosion.
And that's happening a lot.
Oh, yeah. More and more, more and more. We see. It was a couple years ago after I think it was the city of Des Moines had switched over back to salt, and we started seeing cars come in with rust pits on the brake rotors, and again that's for the most part preventable. And it's as simple as when you go to the car wash, pay the extra $1 or $2 and get that underbody blast.
Get that done.
Yeah,
it does wonders.
It does. I mean, I have, I'm a little OCD, so I probably wash my car more often than most people. But I have very little, rust and corrosion, on the underside of my car. But I always get the underbody blast.
While you're there, might as well get it done.
Exactly. Spend the extra $1 or $2.
All right. And what's the fourth thing on your list here?
The fourth thing is knowing your car, knowing its limits.
What do you mean by that?
Well, this time of year, every week, we are reattaching, mud flaps, lower air dams, all the underbody shields, all the stuff the plastic pieces that go underneath your car and attach to it. We see a ton of them coming in, hanging down. They're in the
people
trunk.
think they can plow through the snow?
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
Okay.
And that's the biggest thing is know the limits of your car. Speed does not overcome ground clearance when you're trying to get through that
most
pile.
situations.
Well, that pile of snow that the snowplow put up at the end of your driveway. Invest in a good shovel. Just don't take a run at it.
You can't blast your way through it without expecting to do some damage.
Exactly. And you just gotta know the limits of your vehicle. And when you get stuck, don't sit there and spin the tires and reverse drive. I mean, you may be able to get out of a situation like that, but the wear and tear you just did on your car is equivalent to tens of thousands of miles.
Wow.
So,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, you got that bad fluid in there that won't flow, so it's not helping protect
Right.
it
And when your car
during the
Batteries
abuse.
running low on juice. And we always want to remind everybody, because you're great about this, Ron, is making sure, most importantly, if you're out in conditions that people were experiencing the last couple of days on I-35, make sure you can see.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, wiper blades, you know, Aquapel if you choose to go with that. I mean, clean the car off. And the other thing is make sure you can be seen.
Be seen.
This time of year, we see a lot of burned out bulbs on cars due to the cold weather. And a 2-minute walk around in the evening or in the morning, just looking at all the lights on your car makes a huge difference.
Yeah, turn the lights on at night before you go in. So
Coming down here,
so you're
I
not
was
surprised.
Yeah, coming down here, I was behind a Dodge Sprinter, one of those Sprinter vehicles.
Yeah, oh yeah, the big ones.
And it had one light on in the back, and that was the license plate light. I mean, there was no tail lights. Its headlights were on. It was dark, and the guy probably didn't know.
Right.
Yeah, it's bad.
And don't forget fluid, windshield washer fluid. Keep some in your
yeah.
car, especially this time of year with the salt. You're going to need it for the windshield.
Exactly.
Jackie
Especially when
mentioned.
this stuff starts to melt.
All right, so any of these problems, anything that you need to have done on your vehicle and you need a quick pit stop, where do you go, Ron?
You can go to Westside Auto Pros. You can find us at westsideautopros.com or askaroundthecarguy.com. Just shoot us an email, give us a call. We're here to answer questions.
And just a reminder, because a lot of people are getting stuck out there with this type of weather, I know you guys have a service as well.
We do, and you can either call the shop or after hours. The number is easy to remember. It's 309-1911.
There you go.
There you have it. So wonderful. Ron the Car Guy, good to see you, my friend. Now, when do you go on another trip?
Soon enough.
Next week? Probably, yeah, okay.